It's nearly 2 o'clock, 4th of the 7th. Right, now can we carry on filming? Part 2. Part 2. Will my camera stay in focus? I don't know. It's a HD camera, it's not... I refuse to use a phone as a camera because they're just not... You know what I mean? I don't want to hold the thing, I don't want to hold my phone. I've only used it for me security cameras and stuff like that, you know. Pardon me, I'm just belching on this water. Alright, part 2. Right. The first bit I showed you, right? There's the tracks that we put into the thingy. I'll just shrink it a bit so you can see. Yeah, quite chippy that, isn't it, guys? Right. And you see the thing moving along. I know it's boring, guys. Don't, you know, bear with me. Right. Now, first thing I did in Cubase, I noted that the song was 130 beats per minute, right? And me locators, you know, set to, you know, where you know when you're doing an audio mix down, you set your locators 124 bars, right? So I set the, you know, the song arranger on this MPC thing, right, to 130 beats per minute, and you can't see the bars. Oh, there it is. 124 bars, right? Exactly like it is on Cubase. The timing and the bars, right? 130 beats per minute, right? And every one of these clips, each one of them, I copied them as an audio mix down, you know, as individual tracks, you know what I mean? I just like soloed the drum track, which was MIDI, you know what I mean? Audio mix down. I labelled it 130 beats per minute so that like if I want to use it for other projects and that, right? 124 bars, right? Set all that, right? And I thought, let's see if the metronome matches up. Okay? And I'll just switch out of the thing and you should be able to hear the metronome, I'm not sure. Right. Hold on. Switch the metronome on. The metronome. Right. Switch metronome on. Okay. And then I press play. And then here's the volume of the metronome. See, perfectly matched. It's a 4/4 beat. Right. Turn the metronome down. Up again. So you see, as long as you make sure you document the length, you know, the length of the track, your bars or whatever on your Cubase project, and then I've copied there was I think about 9 tracks I'd done on that freeze track, right? One of them's a MIDI track for the drums. The keyboard tracks are all MIDI, but I converted each one by one, you know what I mean, as audio mix downs, right? CD quality samples, basically. So I can't remember the bits and the, you know, sample rate was, you know, like for CD quality. I could use higher quality, but at the moment I'm just working with CD level quality, right? And then each track, I put them all on a memory card. It was about 9 tracks, I think. There was drums, 4 keyboards, real bass guitar, 2 rhythm guitars, real guitars, and the lead guitar, right? And I haven't added anything to the song yet. I haven't put any vocals on or nothing yet, right? And each one of them tracks I did an audio mix down at each one single, and put them on a memory card, which I put in there in the slot, see? That's all that's on this card. Is all them samples taken from that project, from the Freeze project on Cubase, right? So you can see the that's the drum track audio 1 there, right? Now I'm about to put a second keyboard part into this project, and I want to show you. This is the bit that gets a bit weird. If you bear in mind, each track is stored as a sample on a SD card, plugged straight in the back of the MPC one, right? And then it took me a while to work this out, you know, like, so that, you know, they weren't just samples; they were actually audio tracks on the thing, right? Now I'm going to show you how I put another keyboard track in and a guitar track in, right? And here's where it got mad. Here's where it got a bit strange, right? Now, let's just hook my camera in. My camera goes out of tune. I have to do it in parts. You know, because this, it's a fault. The camera's faulty. It goes out of focus on its own. It's ridiculous. But, you know, I'm trying to get it as clear as possible, right? Now, first thing I want to do is add another track. Right? I've got audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's where the end. I've put 5 tracks in, right? And what I've done, track 5 is a keyboard track, and track number 6 is going to be another keyboard track. Basically the stereo. You know, when you do a track exactly the same, but you know, left and right, very similar, you know, thing, right? So I'm going to show you how I copied the track from the card, and I had some problems, and I'll talk you through it, right? It's very, you know, this is for anyone who just wants to do samples, you know what I mean? Instead of using MIDI and stuff. Right. First thing we do is we need a new track, right, which is there. New track, right, you see? I've got 5 audio tracks. This will be track number 6. Right? Audio. See, you can do MIDI, plugins, whatever. Right? Audio. Right? And there we go. Track number 6. Okay? Now, that's an empty track now. So what we need to do is, I see on this little window, this bottom window, double tap on that, right? Hold on, no, before we do that, the track is made, right? Now, I go into browser, right? And there's my memory card there. You see the top there, it's got like contents, expansions, places, and look, that's the external SD card there, the Intenso, right? It's lit up at the moment, and there's my samples there, look. Bass Geet, Freeze bass synth, drum track, and so on. What we want to load in now is this one, Freeze High Synth 2, right? That's the last track I put in, is the High Synth 1. High Synth 2, you see where I've labelled it, 130 beats per minute. I didn't actually insert the time on the takes. I should have, but I'll do that later on and give it a try and see what it does. I just done them as, you know, they're 124 bars long, or the entire thing, not segments, you know, the entire song's worth, audio mix down of each track. Now the way the lead solo is, for example, is just in the middle of the song snipped, but I've, you know, so it'll just, I'll show you. What a boring man I've become. Right now, I select it, right, and it should do because it starts late, it'll do a little thingy, an audition. There you go, see? Because there's a gap at the beginning, and it's playing the track, the sample, right? See it? It should stop in a second, like. But, and then we go to there, load to pool. Right? Load to pool. I'm shaking because I'm holding onto the camera. Right, load to pool. Right, loaded, freeze. Right, now go to the main window. And here's our audio track waiting. And what you do is you double, see the space here? Double tap on this. And you see where it says there, browse samples. Because I've loaded it into the pool. Browse samples. Well, right, now you see these. There's the high synth one. Scroll it down. There we go, that's the one we need there, high synth 2. That's the one I've just loaded into the pool. See, add sample. Place at start. Because like I say, I've made sure that every one of those clips is the entire length of the song, you know, from the starter to the end. As if it was doing an audio mix of the whole song, right? But right, so it's going to go from the pool into that track number 6 what I've created. Right, there we go, see, so do it. Do it. And there it is. Right. Now, here's where they had the problem, guys, watch. I'll show you on the arranger track. You see, that's the last track that's been added, that bright green one there, right? Now watch when I go along here. You see the way it just stops there? You see, all of them did this. See where the rest of them go on, look. Full length of the song. Right. And that one I've just put in. I mean, I was like, it didn't happen when I put the drum track in. You know, when I put the very first track in, which was the drum tracks made into an audio track. That was there, the full length. So I loaded in the second synth track and realised, oh man, it just stops halfway through, what's that all about? But this is what we, and unfortunately I had to go back into Cubase and redo the takes. Have I made a mistake? It's not long enough. But this is what you do, right? It happened to all of them except the drum track. This is the main little, because I think it's a glitch. Right? Go into the main window. There's my thing, right? I'll go double click on that. Right? Now you see that I've got that selected there. Edit end. You can edit the start if it's, you know, but it's the end of the track that's missing, right? So if I go along here, right, you see there, and look, remember it's got to be 124 bars long, and that's up to what? 55 bars. And for some reason, I think that's a glitch, so Akai, if you're watching, AI, get it right. Get it right, but this is our remedy. It was simple as this. Remedied it, like. Edit end. Now look, I've got edit end switched on for this, just this track. Turn the wheel. the main wheel, right, watch. Because edit end is on. And you see it getting bigger. The whole track's there, but it looks shorter. The actual event is too short. But it's all there, look. Now, I haven't worked out a quick way to do this really quickly, but so I'm turning the wheel dead slow. But you see, it's all there. And I thought it was snipped or, you know, but no, it's all there. Edit end. See, it's still on edit end. So I've got to turn that wheel till I get to the 124th bar, which is very boring and tedious, right? Right, watch it, it'll go off the screen. I've just learnt this myself, using my brain. You see, it's all there. Remember, this is a MIDI track that's been converted to an audio sample, basically. Right, so that's my second high synth. My camera's staying in focus because I haven't altered it. My high def camera. Right, I know this is tedious, guys, but I've got to use the Q. I haven't sussed out the Q links yet. You know what I mean? How to assign the Q links, but we'll suss that out because that would help. What are we up to? 90 something? Yeah. 124 bars, remember? And you see what I mean when it gets to the end of the event. Or the sample, you want to call it that. Took me ages sussing this out, man, because there's not a single video on YouTube explains this. You know, it's great if you're into audio-based recording, you know what I mean? You're not really into synthesizers and synths and all that, like, you want to just do audio-based recording. And I've got 3 more guitar tracks to add, which I'll add, you know, in a minute. 124 all the way up, see, it's all there, it's expanding. Should just attach a flipping like a drill piece, you know, like a drill, get like a fitment for like a drill, just put it on the dial and goes right. Where are we now? Turn the wheel, turn the wheel, turn the wheel. Yeah, this is the only... I'm a bit pissed off about it because the drums didn't do it. The whole drum track was there, you know. Whereas everything else I've put in has done this. Where are we? Not far to go. 121. Hold on. Oh fuck. And there we go, see? That's where the sample ends. Right, so we'll go back into a range view. And you can see now that that's there. Goes right to the end. Right, I'll just shrink it down. That's its very smallest. So you see what I'm doing? I'm building like a DAW thingy majig, right? Now press play, test it. Should be an extra synth there now. Right. Go into the mixer. Right? So you see how many tracks we've got? I'll just turn the metronome down. So it's perfectly beat matched. Right, let's start. So I've got this selected, audio 6. So we've got 5, 4, that's the bass guitar, 3, 2, 1, drums. Right, so I'll do that one more time. Look, my camera is going out of focus, isn't it? I haven't even touched the focus on it yet. It's like it goes blind. Right, and I'll add another guitar track while I'm on, so you see exactly what I did there. Create a new audio track, which is going to be number 7, right? New track. Audio. Number 7 there, right? Right, go into the browser. And there we go, see me samples. So the next one is lead guitar. Or rhythm guitar I was going to do. Like, oh shit, get off. Ah! Right. Rhythm geet. It's not right down, is it? Right, what we got? Rhythm geet mono. See, I've made sure that they're mono tracks as well. With the keyboard tracks, I left them stereo before I done the mix downs of them. Whereas all the bass guitar and all these electric guitar tracks, all in mono, 130 beats per minute, all 124 bars long, right? So it's rhythm geet is the first one we want. Right, now watch, I'll click on it and do a little sample of it. It takes a while for it, because it takes a while for the guitars to come in at the beginning of the track. There's a bit of space at the beginning. But it should sample the rhythm guitar. You know, start playing a bit of it. Any moment now. There you go. Right, you see, that's the little... If that was started from the beginning, you'd hear it straight away, but because there's a gap at the beginning. Right, so that's the one I want. Load into Pool, remember? Right? Loaded into Pool. Back to the main window. See, that's my card. My memory card. SD card in the back. It's just got the samples of the song on it. Divided into tracks. Right, back into the main window. Audio 7. See, that's blank. Completely empty. Audio 7. My camera is a pain in the ass. Going out of focus again. Right, double tap this area here. Browse samples. See, there's all the other tracks. Oh man, this camera! There is the Rhythm Geet Mono, 130 BPM. Right? Because the guitars are panned left and right, so I'll put 2 rhythm tracks So here we go. Do it. Place at the start. Right now, the same thing. There you go. See the way it's a mono track. Now I'll go into the lanes, into the what's its face. You see how long it takes before it starts. I can snip all that. You get me? I'm going to snip that later on. But at the entire audio track, it goes right from the beginning. Now let's see where it ends. See if it's got the glitch. Yeah, it has, look. See, it looks like there's only half of it there. So, go back into the main window. Double tap on the event. Pan along. So we get to the end. And remember, oh look, I can't believe this camera. Edit end. Turn the wheel again. There we go. It's, oh man, it's ridiculous this, man. It's actually going out of, look. I've got to refocus it. But it'll just do it again. Right, okay. Same with this. Turn the wheel till it gets to 124 bars. The whole sample's there. Right, that's the middle of the song where it comes to a bit of a gap. See, I can snip all this later. I'm going to be working on that later on, the editing of actual events, like. Because look, all the stuff's there. What's in Cubase? See, cut, erase, select. It's all exactly the same as a DAW. But you don't need a PC. Apart from, you know, taking your stuff off the PC, you know, from your Cubase or whatever. Turn the wheel. What are we up to there? It's a bit of a drag this, like, but so I've got one more rhythm guitar to add. And my lead guitar. Same process. Load it into the pool. Create a new track. Open the track. Select the sample. But this is like, you know, it's not electronic music, is it, really? It's like traditional rock method, I suppose. It's like treating it like a tape recorder. You know. And I'll get into the MIDI stuff. And the reason I bought this machine, to be honest, is I was influenced by Polyphia. You know, that electronic loopy type stuff. And I thought, wow, you add real guitars to loops, man. It's quite cool, like. I've got enough real songs. I've wrote enough real songs, but I want to do something futuristic, you know. Right, where are we now? We'll go a bit quicker. I know this bit tedious, guys, but I thought I'd, like, you know. Right. Where are we there? Nearly there, nearly there. There's the end of the song there. 124 bars, 130 beats per minute. The beat's 4/4, so no complicated stuff there. And it should end there now. yeah? See where the track ends? And there we have it. And see, I can snip all this stuff later on. Yeah, that's the end of the song, right? So, we're going back in the... Now we should have a rhythm guitar. It's a bit tedious, I know, but it's one of my songs. And it sounds to me, but that's like each sample is just CD quality, 44, whatever it is, and 16-bit. See, that's where the lead guitar should be. Perfect timing. And you see all these blank bits. I can obviously, well, I can't move that yet, but I can obviously snip all them bits out later. Right? So I don't think I have to show adding the last two tracks because it's a bit tedious, you know, because I've got to do exactly the same thing. Create a new track, go into the browser, load your samples off your SD card, external SD card, then go back into the track, select sample, throw it in, and then edit the end if it's yours does the same as mine, like where it's, you know, the samples. I thought it was cut short, but it was all there. It just needs to be stretched, you know, like extended. Well, there you have it. I'm getting off. I think that's a bit of a main. I actually, honestly, all night last night I was racking my head trying to work that out, just to do audio recording on it, like, you know. But there you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. See you later.